All right, what's going on, YouTube? My name's Black Chicken or Elijah, and welcome back to my podcast. And today's first guest is the Mr. Woody55 underscore. How you doing, bro?
Doing good. Doing good. How are you?
Fantastic. All right, so everyone, obviously, this being the first episode of 2021, we're going into it with a great banger off the bat. This guy is amazing. If you guys haven't checked him out, you should really check him out. He's got a Twitch channel, YouTube. He even has a TikTok if you want to check that out. I'll link all his socials, his TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, all that stuff for you guys. So, Ryan, basically, I'm just going to have you introduce yourself. Tell us a couple things about you and what you've been doing.
My name's Ryan, and been nicknamed Woody for like my entire life, so I just roll with it. The 55 stems from number in baseball, and underscore is just because I tried to take on the PlayStation and the name wasn't available, so I slapped an underscore on it, and bam, it was mine. So, yeah, it's kind of stuck with it. I've been streaming on Twitch for like 3-ish years, actually, coming up on 3 years in exactly 2 weeks from today,
Okay.
actually. I mean, yeah, it's about. I got into streaming because for pretty much my entire life, I wanted to be like a sports broadcaster, and I mean, the PlayStation had like the ability to stream on it, so I actually just thought originally it would be a good idea just to like practice being on air that way. And I played a lot of competitive Overwatch, and I was pretty good. I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll stream it. If people watch, cool beans. If they don't, whatever. It's all good. I'm playing a game that I've been playing anyway. So, and yeah, I mean, I didn't think it would turn into what it has, but here
Right.
we are.
So that actually brings me right into the next question I was going to ask you, or next thing I was going to bring up. So I actually remember when you had what was it? It was called like the Chicago something, where you had that
Oh,
small little Twitch channel where
yeah,
you
yeah,
talk
yeah,
about
yeah,
Chicago sports.
yeah.
Now
That was yeah, it was me and Tom.
I remember that
Yeah,
that used to be awesome because it was two young kids just talking about sports, and I think I love that it started from just that small little thing to where you are now.
yeah. Like cringe as fuck to look back at it now, but yeah, I mean, that yeah, we did that. Did that on the PlayStation 2, just like because they allowed to record and stream and do whatever, and so like it was just a easy little thing to do, and it definitely, I mean, it definitely helped for sure. I mean, at least like going into my first stream, I had already done that before in a way, so I mean, it wasn't had experience going in, so it was fine.
So with like the whole COVID thing and everything like that, do you feel like your Twitch channel kind of got a lot more views since people were staying in and kind of searching, looking for things to watch when they couldn't do anything?
Um, yeah, I mean, it definitely helped. Like, it definitely helped the traffic of Twitch and YouTube and TikTok for sure, and everything like that. Um, it definitely hurt financials more than anything because, like, I mean, unless you're like a YouTuber and you get paid for views and stuff like that, um, or you're like really big on TikTok and you get benefits from like the Creator Fund. Technically, I'm a part of the Creator Fund, but they really don't pay very well. But that's a different conversation. Um, but like, I mean, obviously, people are saving money, and Twitch doesn't pay you for anything. Like your income's solely based on subs and donations and stuff like that. So it definitely helped the traffic. I mean, there's a lot more idiot 12-year-olds that were on the platform because they didn't have school and they were home. Yeah, I mean, like there was benefits, but also negatives to it, though. But yeah,
Right. So I know 2020 was an amazing year for you. That's when it was 2020 or was it 2019 when Tim the Tatman first hosted you?
beginning of 2019,
Oh,
the
okay.
first time.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
tell like the viewers a little bit about that. Obviously, I know majority of it. Kind of give everyone a little background.
Yeah. So if you're listening, you probably know who Tim the Tatman is. And like he was the first streamer I ever watched on Twitch when I created my account like over 5 years ago. He's been my favorite streamer ever since then. And so like I was just playing Fortnite with my friends I usually played with as always, and I was streaming. It was like a fucking Tuesday night or whatever. And I had recently surpassed like 1,000 followers on Twitch, and Tim's stream team is called the Tatman Army. And so recently, like it was the day of literally, um, I got accepted into being a part of his team, which like for the applicants, you had to have like a minimum 1,000 followers, and then you had to apply, and then Whips, his mod went through all the applicants, and then like you talked to him before he accepted you, blah blah blah. And so like that literal day, I got accepted, and so I was streaming the night, and literally like it was a school night, obviously, so it was like 10 p.m. or something like that, and we started the classic like one more game over and over, and so I ended up going until like 11:30 or something like that, and Tim happened to be streaming late that night, and then he hosted me, and that was like obviously really wild. Not only because he hosted me for like 30,000 people, but it was because it was Tim,
Right.
and it just made it kind of that like it was wild, it was mind blowing, and also like broke my computer because of how many like follows and shit that I got at one time. It literally like just broke my OBS practically. I had to turn off all alerts, and it felt really good because the game he hosted me on, I dropped like 12 kills and a win on Fort, so I felt really cool. Um, I was up to like 2, 3 in the morning or something like that, and my dad, so
Right.
like I ended stream and I went downstairs. So like my dad, he stays up really late. He sleeps pretty much all day. He's a night owl. Okay, so like I go downstairs. So I went to go to the bathroom before going to bed, and he's sitting at the table, and he's like, "What in the fuck are you doing up right now?" And I was like, "Listen," he was like, "You don't understand. You have." I was like, "You live like like yeah." I was like literally shaking for like the rest of the night. I barely could sleep, and I was
I bet
it
the
was crazy.
excitement was through the roof, dude. I would
Yeah,
have
it
gone
was crazy.
crazy.
It was
Um,
wild.
so obviously Tim the Tatman. We know that. And which kind of goes to the sort of next thing I want to talk about. You were kind of getting a lot of hate on Twitter for the tattoo,
Oh yeah, this guy.
but what
Yeah.
what's great about that is that you got Tim recognized it right away and said how much he loved it, and he even
Mm.
released something about it saying if he wants to do it, he can do it. It's his body, blah blah blah.
Yeah, he even made a YouTube video on it too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And like, what do you have to say to the people that don't understand what that symbol means to you?
I mean, like I remember put out a reply on the original tweet, and I was like, you know, hey, if you think it's kind of stupid, I understand. Because I mean, like objectively, yeah, it probably does seem kind of dumb to get someone's logo tattooed on you, and I understand that. I mean, a lot of people think tattoos are just dumb in the first place.
Right.
My dad's one of those people, so like I get it, right? But for me, like I love streaming. It's done a lot, and it has given me a lot of friends I wouldn't have had, a lot of opportunities I wouldn't have had, and it's something I truly love to do. And if it wasn't for Tim, I wouldn't be here doing it. I mean, like
Right.
he was pretty much the reason. He was one of the reasons why I started streaming in the first place. Because I remember, like like I said before, I started streaming because part of the reason was I wanted to just kind of practice airtime or whatever. And I mean, one of the reasons for having that mindset of just like, fuck it, why not do it? Was I was watching Tim one day and someone donated to him and was like, hey, do you have any tips for, starting out streaming? And Tim was just like, just do it, dude. YOLO. Because YOLO was cool at the time. So, and I was like, yeah, man, screw it. Yeah. And so, like, yeah, I mean, he was pretty much the reason why I started streaming. And because of the host that he's giving me and the people that I met through him, like, he's pretty much the reason that I have the community that I have now. And so, like, I don't know. I mean, it's pretty damn fitting to have a tattoo in his honor. And plus, like, it's the same thing when I did my other tattoo for Jordan. Like, objectively, it's like it's not like I got his name tattooed on me.
Right.
You know,
It's a
it's
sick logo.
yeah, exactly. Like it's a sick logo, and and most people, if you don't know it, they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's a sick tattoo,"
Yeah.
you know, and they won't even know the actual meaning behind it at all. And it looks cool. But it's like, I mean, that's fine. And tattoos don't have to, like, people can look at them and they don't need to know the actual meaning behind it, As long as it looks all right, you're chilling.
Right.
And it's like, plus, I mean, the only person it really matters to is the person that got it anyway. Like, you can get a like Tim said himself, you can get a fucking like tattoo of a hot dog eating a hamburger, and it doesn't matter as long as the person that got it likes it.
Yeah. So, did you meet Jordan before like you and Tim started interacting, or was it the other way around?
Oh no, like I started interacting with Jordan mainly because of Tim.
Okay.
actually, because so how me and Jordan met, which you guys don't know, so if it's Jordan Fisher, and you can kind of see a picture of him, like that guy right there. He's everything. He's a streamer. He's won Dancing with the Stars. He was on Disney before. Like anything that you could imagine in life, he's probably done it. Um,
He was in that commercial for Domino's, right?
yeah, he's on a Domino's commercial. He was before COVID happened. He started on Broadway for Dear Evan Hansen. He's been on a few movies on Netflix that you've probably watched and didn't realize was him. Um, like yeah, and he also releases music. So like literally anything in life that you could do, he does.
The man's a
Um,
superstar.
literally. And so I started talking to Jordan because Tim hosted me one day, and I was looking for someone to host at the end of my stream, and I followed Jordan for a while because he played with Ninja and those guys like during Fortnite
Yeah.
days, and it's like I never really watched him though, but I knew who he was and I followed him for a while. I didn't know like who he was for everything else. I just knew him as a streamer. I didn't know him as the guy that was a part of one of my favorite games. Like you played Until Dawn, right?
One time, yeah.
Yeah, like Jordan's in Until Dawn.
Did not
He
know
literally
that.
plays one of the main characters. Exactly. So like I didn't know him for any of that. And so like I was looking for someone to host, and I saw he like just started playing Overwatch. It was like his first time. And I was like, screw it. So I hosted him. And then so I was hanging out in his chat for a while, and like I said, he's really new to Overwatch, and I played it for a few years. And so I was just like, I typed in his chat, I was like, hey, I'll I'll type up like a Google Doc for like a mini guide on every single character in Overwatch right now. I know that sounds like really nerdy, but
Well, you
I
got the
don't know.
knowledge
I like
for
doing
it.
it. Yeah, exactly. And I typed up. I actually still have the document in my Google Docs too. I typed it up in like 30 minutes. It was like a 2,500 word just guide to every single character in Overwatch. And so I sent it to his mod, and then that night his mod, gave it to Jordan. And then and I thought that was it. I went to bed. I was just like, yeah, all right, cool. And so the next morning, I started on my stream, and I was just playing for like every other day. And Jordan came in, dropped like 100 gifted subs, and was like, "Hey, you want to play Overwatch tonight?" And I was like, "Yeah." So like literally that night, I was playing Overwatch with him. He invited freaking Kefri and like J3 and those guys, and so it was yeah. And then came friends from there, pretty much.
That's awesome. Uh, I don't remember. Did you ever end up playing? I remember you had said something on your Twitter or something like that that you were gonna be playing with Nick Merckx. Did you ever end up playing with him?
Oh, so that that was actually I never played with Nick. That was so what happened with that was
Or was that just getting trolled there?
yeah. So like what happened was I got hosted by Tim one day. So I've been hosted by Tim like 4 times. It sounds like it sounds like it happens like often, but like I've been hosted by Tim 4 times. And so one of the days when he hosted me and I was playing Fort, I was just playing solos. And one of my viewers, I guess, that I had at the time, I still don't even know who it was, but apparently they went to Nick and donated to his channel and was like, hey, you should play with this guy. He got hosted by Tim. And Nick kind of took that as shade, which, like, understandably so. But, like, I had no idea that happened at all. So, like, Nick's mod, like, went to my channel and, like, he messaged me and he was like, hey, someone donated and was like, hey, play with Woody or whatever, which obviously, they don't like that. So I was
Right.
like, oh shit, I'm sorry, I didn't know that happened. And so that like, literally like after my stream was done, that I talked to Nick and like we had a few minute conversation. I basically just like I apologized and I was like, hey, I didn't know that happened. He's like, you're all good and everything. He's like, I appreciate, you come by and saying that, blah blah blah. So yeah, that was that interaction.
Oh,
Never played with him though.
I was like, dang, he played with him, didn't even bring it up one time.
No, dude, I love Nick though. That guy, he's seriously one of the realest dudes in the platform though.
I love his content is hilarious. I don't watch it all the time, but when I see his YouTube videos show up on Warzone, I'm not a big Warzone guy, but still seeing it, I'm like, I'll watch it.
Yeah. I honestly just like listening to him, like listening to his late night chats that he'll have like towards the end of his stream, just about like life in general.
Right.
That's actually what I like to watch him. I mean, his gameplay is obviously good,
Yeah.
but I mean, I just like to listen to him spew about random shit because I don't know. He says it like it is. I like it. You
So,
know.
um, so like you've grown so much in like the last year. Like it's been insane. And
Mm.
I've known you my entire life, and watching that happen to like seeing any of your friends like get huge is awesome to see. When like, are you ever like kind of like afraid that someone's just gonna be a scumbag and try to like off you or something, like try to mess with all your stuff?
uh, I mean, I had a guy like literally 2 months ago. I spent a month with a guy DDoSing me. I couldn't stream for like a solid 2 3 weeks.
Really?
Every single time that I would start my stream up, literally it all started from a random Overwatch game. Got into a game, dude wasn't playing very well. He was clearly upset, and so like he started talking shit to the rest of the team. Obviously, I started talking shit back, and so then
Right.
he, and then I guess he decided to take that to heart, and so he DDoSed me for like literally 3 weeks. And the only way for me to fix the problem is I had to go out and buy an entire new modem and router setup and everything. But yeah,
Wow.
so I mean that's even just one little example of people trying. I mean, yeah, people try to mess with your shit every single day, and I
Right.
mean, you know, it is what it is. Just comes with the territory. And I'm not even really that big, and people still do that.
That would just annoy me. The first time I would just freak out.
Oh, dude, it was so frustrating. Like those 2 3 weeks, bro. I was depressed as fuck. Not gonna lie. Like I couldn't do the one thing I like to do.
Right.
Especially during COVID, you can't go out and do anything. So like I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, the one thing I want to do. Plus, like, not to mention it's my income.
Yep.
And then it's like I literally can't. I start on my stream and he just ends it whenever he wants to. I mean, it's just it was that was frustrating.
Gosh, that's annoying right there. So, have you ever thought about going back to Overwatch like full
Occasionally,
time?
yeah. No, I don't think I could full time, to be honest, but I love the game, and I still do really love the game.
Right.
It's just that the community is awful. Like it's awful. Case in point, the dude in a random comp game that decided to DDoS me for 3 weeks over a random comp
Yeah,
game.
that is
Like, I
true.
mean, it's just it's terrible. And I mean, like, I think the big example of it though is how they treat their, like, their bigger streamers in the community too. Like, Caffrey gets shit on every day. Obviously, there's a good community a part of it though, but like in every game does have true supporters and good people. But like even Caffrey gets treated like shit. J3 gets treated like shit. I mean, and plus the game is plagued with hackers right now too, so that doesn't help. But um, I still really love the game. I think in a situation where I had like a full team to play with every day, I think I could. But solo for content, hell no, no shot.
Um. So you've been playing right now. You're playing Valorant, right? And are you still playing Valorant?
Yeah,
So you've been playing
I
Valorant and Warzone. Is that the two games?
right now I've been playing a good amount of Apex, but I played. I mean, once Valorant dropped, I played Valorant for probably like a solid 5 6 months straight. My only kind of same thing with Overwatch. Like the matchmaking system in Valorant is just very very bad, and so people are getting into ranks that they shouldn't be getting into, and so that makes solo very very difficult to play. And it's kind of the same scenario. Like if I had a team to play with every day, 100% I'd love to play Valorant because I love the game still. But like if you're trying to solo queue, community is awful. People treat like shit in ranked. Most people don't care to play, and they don't actually care to win, and that just bothers me. So,
And Valorant was
but
supposed to be like the better CS:GO.
I mean, it is like the thing is like I made a video about it not too long ago of just like all the problems with the Valorant rank system and stuff like that, and why Valorant ranked is very bad. But like I even made that in that video where I talked about it, and I was just like, this has absolutely nothing to do with the actual esports scene of Valorant, because the actual esports scene of Valorant, like the events that have been going on and stuff like that, like the recent First Strike event that they had, and the tournaments that they've had before that, are extremely fun to watch. Blast, like they're broadcast quality, even for the game just starting out, is crazy good. Especially this early. And I mean, it's been like the actual esports scene is very, very good. But obviously, there's a huge gap between the people that are in the esports scene and people that just play ranked every day.
Okay.
So
Right, because
playing ranked is rough, but
fair enough. I was about to ask you. Oh yeah. So how long have you been making actual YouTube videos? Because I know you've just been doing this Twitch full time, and then like, how long have you been just uploading, trying to get those extra views and stuff like that?
so YouTube, I started to put a lot more focus into it this past year. I'd say the past like half of the year, because I mean I really didn't start consistently uploading until like August or something like that. And I put out, and since then I put out a good amount of videos. I still haven't put out one in a while. Over the past like month, I've kind of been in a dry spell. But that's mainly because like games right now, man, are just boring.
Yeah,
Like,
I can't find any fun games
like
right now.
I mean we started playing Ark for a bit with friends. I mean, like I wish I enjoyed Warzone as much as other people do, because obviously Warzone is pretty easy for content, but I just can't play Warzone because you get a hacker every single game, and I don't know. The game is so poorly optimized, but like,
Yeah, the
and
issue
then
with COD is that you're like limited to one of two things. It's either you're a multiplayer type of guy or you're a
yeah,
Warzone type of guy. And most of
the
the time, the Warzone people are just scumbags because they're
yeah.
just cheating half the time.
And plus, like the problem too is like it's almost pay to win, because like that Mac 10 gun that's OP as shit. Like right now, you have to buy the battle pass to get it, right?
No, you actually
So,
can get that for free.
oh, can you?
Yeah, if you have Cold War and then you just do the battle pass progressions, like I don't buy the battle pass. It's stupid. And you buy
So
that
is
and you
it
get that.
not? Yeah, because they do have like a free battle pass, don't
Yeah.
they? So okay, 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 still, but like,
But then at that point, you got to get Cold War.
right. So my main problem with Warzone and the meta that they have is every single time they throw out nerfs for things, they nerf the gun, right? But they never nerf the attachments. So
Yeah.
all it is like you take the same AR build, like for example, when the Grau was, the gun to use, right? Everybody used the Grau. If you didn't use the Grau, you were fucked. So everyone used the Grau with the same build. As soon as the Grau was nerfed, all they did was take those same attachments and slap it on the M4.
Yeah.
And bam, the M4 was the new gun to use. Every single person was using it. If you didn't use it, you're fucked. And then M4 gets nerfed. Now it's the freaking like, what was the one gun that Nick Merck started to use a bunch? I think it was like
Probably
the Ram.
M13 or Ram, one of the two.
Yeah, yeah. Both guns though, and the Kilo too. They use like the same builds for each gun, and it's just a cycle of one gun gets nerfed. It's the same attachments over and over, and then it's the same thing with like the MP5 and shit. Like use the MP5, use the same attachments. MP5 gets nerfed. Okay, slap it on the Mac 10 now. Use the same attachments. Oh, Mac 10's OP as shit. Oh, Mac 10 gets nerfed. Back to the M5, MP5. Like it's an endless cycle.
Yeah.
And so what happens is like if you're a person that, especially if you don't buy the game, if you're a person that doesn't have multiplayer and you only have Warzone, best of luck leveling up your guns to
you're
get those
not.
attachments. No shot you're doing that. So it's like you have to play multiplayer to level up your guns so you can actually get the attachments, so then you don't get shit on in Warzone, or you don't have the game and you're taking 10 years to actually get the, full weapon upgrades, and you're getting shit on anyway. So it's like it's just an endless cycle of bad, but people, I mean, I wish I could enjoy it as much as other people do. I really do.
I'm
But
the
I just
same
can't.
way. I'm not a giant fan. I don't like. I'm not big into BRs like that. Like I loved Fortnite, obviously, as everyone else did. I
Yeah.
loved Fortnite because it was just something like colorful.
Fortnite's
Me and my
different
friends
though.
could play, and we were having fun. Warzone, it's
Mm,
like I feel like I'm overseas fighting.
yeah.
Like
That's
everyone's yelling and stuff. It's too much.
yeah. And I've been playing a lot of Apex lately because like in terms of that style of game, that style of BR, like Fortnite's a little bit different because Fortnite is building everything. Even though it is a BR, it's in a category of its own,
Mhm.
right? And so like Apex and Warzone to me are pretty comparable. Obviously, Apex has like a bit of like Overwatch hint of it because it has like the legends with different abilities and stuff like that. But the main thing I like about Apex is one, I think it just has better movement, but like every gun and every attachment is in every single game and is available to everybody that gets in the game.
And I feel
You
like
know,
Apex, I'm not playing the game, and then if I'm playing Warzone, I can assume that my game's gonna take like 30 minutes if I'm getting to the last 30 people.
oh yeah,
Now you talk
yeah,
about getting down to the final 10, and I'm down to we're sitting at 50 minutes,
yeah,
and then you gotta sit while everyone's camping and building, staring at each other. Whereas
yeah.
Apex, it's so fast paced because obviously you have all uh the legends that are able to jump around, run around faster. It's a high paced game, and
You can get
play,
you can get around the map super quick too.
exactly, and players
Like I
aren't
mean, it's
hiding in every corner of every building.
yeah, and like even in Warzone, I mean, I like the ability to buy people back and stuff, but sometimes it gets a little ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like obviously in Apex you can respawn people, but it's a lot harder to respawn people in Apex because you have to actually sit there at the beacon and like have the
hmm
bar go full to actually respawn them. Whereas like if you play Warzone a good amount, you can slide, get to the buy station, and like buy muscle memory, click the buy your teammates back in like 2 seconds, and
yeah.
then your teammates will drop in fairly easily.
And if you're
And it's
slaying
like
out, you
you
can
know
revive your teammates 10 times a game.
oh yeah, and it's like it gets a bit ridiculous to me with that.
And
And the
that's
game,
why
it
Apex.
shouldn't be 150 people in the lobby
Oh,
either.
definitely not.
But
The map is giant. I get that. I get why they have 150, but at the same time, that 150 people, 3/4 of them are going to be respawned at least
yeah,
twice in the game.
they need 100 people with faster zones.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
Like especially the faster zones. You could maybe keep 150. It's just you need faster circles for sure.
You do that.
But you know,
I think the good thing about Call of Duty is that instead of them just saying, "All right, screw it, Cold War's out. We're leaving Warzone at Modern Warfare." They were
mhm.
smart enough to bring that in with Cold War, so that because they know the community loves it. They know they have those people that
Yeah,
will sit and play Warzone, like Tim the Tap Man and Nick. They'll sit and play Warzone because they enjoy it.
yeah.
And if they were to leave that back in Modern Warfare, they're gonna lose so many. They're gonna lose so much money that they could have made. So I think
Oh yeah.
it's great that they have them merged into one because it kind of gives them more time to kind of fix things and learn from what they keep messing up.
And Cold War, like I mean, I bought I bought Cold War as soon as it was released and everything, and I enjoyed it. I mean, I played it for like probably a solid week, 2 weeks, but during those 2 weeks, I was like no lifing it.
Hmm
Playing a ton of it. I was playing a lot of zombies as well, and like it wasn't that bad. It's just like honestly don't know why I really stopped playing it. Like, I mean, I think it's probably the best Call of Duty they've had in easily 5 6 years. It's just the zombies. I probably go back and play it once they get new maps and stuff. But I think maybe I'm just burnt out on Call of Duty
Yeah.
because I played so much of it in like MW. That like 4 year span of MW2 Black Ops, uh, MW3 Black Ops 2. That like 4 years in a row of those games.
Yeah.
I literally played that like every single day for 4 years because those games were fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm just like burnt out on a Call of Duty game, but I mean, Cold War wasn't that bad. I just I don't know. I just kind of stopped. Just lost interest in playing it. Oh, actually, okay, no, I do know the reason why I really stopped playing it. The skill based matchmaking is insane.
That was what I was gonna ask you next.
So the skill based matchmaking is insane. Which, by the way, I mean skill based. We can get into skill based matchmaking conversation, but more specifically to Cold War. Like my only problem with it. So like you remember MW2 where you had all the titles and emblems and shit, right?
Yeah.
And you had all the camos, and it was very very fun to grind for those. That was like the point of the game,
Yep.
practically, right? My only problem with like that, because I mean, Cold War doesn't have a bad system with it. Some of the challenges for the camos are really weird. I wish they would just go by headshots like they used to. But like, so even if you're grinding for camos, right? The problem is that so you have 11-year-old little Timmy, okay, that's grinding for the camos as well, and then you have me that's grinding for camos, right? And little Timmy is in his skill-based matchmaking, and I'm in mine. Except, like, he's playing against people that barely know how to hold a controller. I'm playing against freaking Call of Duty pros and like the goddamn World Championship, and yet we get the same reward.
Yeah. we,
right? And I have nothing to show for the fact that I had to do a lot more work to get it
right.
than he did. That's my issue. And it's kind of same like Nate Shot say the same thing. As long as you give me something to show, like, hey, I'm playing in this skill level, then I'm good. Because the problem is like when I was streaming Cold War and I get into these, these high level games, and it's like, I mean, people are watching me and they're just like, dude, you're just getting shit on. But it's like they don't realize that I'm playing against very, very, good people. So like it looks bad on me because I have nothing to show for like the skill bracket that I'm in. But, you know, yeah.
And
As long
it,
as you have something to show for it, you're good.
and I'm sure people that don't play video games that are probably watching, they don't understand how frustrating that is for a gamer. Like it's frustrating for someone that like myself or you that we're sitting here playing the game, enjoying the game, and then we happen to have 5 great games, and then
Oh
Call of
yeah.
Duty's like, oh well, these guys they must be like amazing. So then they put us into a game where there's dudes slide canceling around a corner and pre-firing before they even know
Yeah.
I'm there, just because they
Into a
think
game with
I'm
like
there.
Scump or something.
Exactly. And that is probably one of the most frustrating things, like for any gamer, because if you're playing a game to play the game to have fun. You're not playing the
Yeah.
game if you're playing it casually. So if I jump into a search and destroy match, I got a 6-man party. Me and all my friends were just messing around, and we join a game, and these guys are making call outs like they're on the podium to make $10,000 if they win. Then it's
And
like I
that's
don't want
why
to
that's why
play.
ranked playlists exist though. Like that, I mean, like
Exactly.
the competitive modes are there for that reason, and it just never should be in a public match. But
And the
you know,
thing that Call of Duty in the last 2 years is really, really messed up is their game battles. They have done so bad when it comes to adding game battles for ranked and for people to play because
yeah.
nobody, they have it set to 5 people, which I understand that's what CDL rules are.
Mm.
But you got to realize majority of your platform, they're all playing with the 6-man because they have 6 people. So it just makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah. You have a 6-man playlist, but then the competitive is 5. It's just like it
Yeah.
doesn't add up.
No, not
Like,
at all.
it's just, so then like you're in an awkward position. Like, okay, well, who's getting kicked? And then you're just, but
Yeah.
then you're not, more than likely you're not going to kick somebody because you don't want to be a dick. So
Yeah.
then you're
You're
just
just
going to
going to be
play.
like, whatever. We're playing
Yeah.
pubs.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
you kind of touched on this earlier. Now, I don't know if you want to talk about it, but so what's the whole deal with the TikTok creator stuff? Because obviously I don't know anybody that is even in that could tell me anything about that. So I feel like there's also people that are gonna be watching that want to be TikTok famous, and they're like, "Well, I want to
Yeah.
join the fund," and then find out that it's like terrible for them.
So, so the creator fund, you have to have, I need like the requirements for it. You have to be 18 and you have to have like 10,000 followers, and then you apply for it. Which pretty much anyone that applies gets in, at least that like that I know of. I don't know. I don't think I've ever met somebody that didn't get in that met the requirements for it. So, um and so essentially what it is, it's a similar system like YouTube where they pay you per view. But the money for each view is not very high. Like I think I'm trying to think of what the YouTube numbers are. So like if you take like Courage JD for example. So like his money per view is probably per 1,000 views is more than likely between like $3 to $4 for the most part, right? For TikTok, each 1,000 views, I think, is about 5 cents. So, yeah, just for comparison for
Which
that.
that's why I don't understand. So I'm glad you said that because if there was someone that was like, "Oh, I want to be TikTok famous and I want to quit everything I do," because I'm definitely sure there are people that are like, "I'm gonna grind for TikTok," just like there are people for YouTube, and just like there are for people from Twitch. But the difference between TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch is Twitch and YouTube both you're guaranteed money if you are making that content people are like.
Mm,
Whereas you go to TikTok, one day you could show up on 2 million people's for you page. The next
yeah,
day you could show up to literally your mom's and that's it.
yeah.
And you'd be
So
screwed.
like the thing with TikTok, I understand why it's like much lower on TikTok being 5 cents. Um, because it like the thing is though, the creator fund, it really just benefits people that are like your Charlie
Yeah.
D'Amelio or your Addison Ray or something like that. Like, dude, you remember? Okay, you remember the one time when Addison Ray uh
The
posted a
WAP.
video for doing the WAP dance? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That video, I think it had like 70, 80 million views or something like that at this point. So like, just do the math.
Yeah.
She literally made like 100 grand on that video alone, right? It's very easy. And like you said, you can show up on 2 million people's For You page on one day.
Right.
It's very like TikTok being TikTok famous. It happens in an instant. Like it
Yeah.
happens, in 2 seconds. And I mean, for the most part, YouTube is normally more like of a more gradual growth. I mean, obviously you'll see people blow up, but even when people blow up on YouTube, it's still more gradual than TikTok is.
And the good thing about
Um,
YouTube is they'll constantly if you have someone that's subscribed and that person interacts with your videos a lot, or they've watched you one or two times, YouTube's not going to be a scumbag, and they're going to still more than likely throw you on their page on their recommended, and
yeah.
then you're still seeing their videos every day. Like a couple months ago, I don't know if you know who Flair is, but I found this guy Flair. He showed up.
Mm,
I watched one video, and he hasn't been off my recommended since then.
really.
Yeah, it's just I feel like YouTube has. I'm saying this with a grain of salt. Has their shit together.
For the most part, I mean, they do. I mean, at least in comparison to, um, especially in comparison to Twitch, but I mean, in comparison to most platforms, they do.
Yeah,
I mean, they have a pretty good system in place
the
for sure.
only issue I have with TikTok right now is their whole. They got the copyright claims that they're screwing the creators for when it's tiny things that it's like there's this pianist that I watch.
Yeah, yeah,
And he just plays songs in the piano on Amigo to make people happy.
yeah.
TikTok copyright strikes him for it. And then there's like they'll demonetize videos that really shouldn't be demonetized. And it sucks for obviously those creators
The
because that's their life.
Yeah, the only problem is that like, and I know people will get annoyed with things getting demonetized and copyright strikes and stuff like that with YouTube and TikTok, but like you have to realize that either you have that or you have the situation that you have on Twitch, where Twitch really doesn't do anything in preventing DMCA strikes and stuff like that, and they just kind of let their streamers do whatever. And now on Twitch, you're basically in a scenario where you know if you get DMCA strikes, you're forced to delete everything. And if the record labels want to, they could sue you, and Twitch ain't really going to do anything about it. And also, now that the recent bill passed, they can threaten you with jail time too. So it's YouTube at least and TikTok for the most part will just naturally protect you from that.
Right.
You know, um. So I mean, I think I'd rather be in the YouTube and TikTok situation just because YouTube and TikTok are fairly straightforward with it. At least, and Twitch is just like such a gray area, and you really don't know what the rules are for most things. Um, so I don't know. I mean, there's obviously benefits and negatives to both sides, but
I'm glad that you brought that one up too because I when I used to play with you a couple times during Fortnite, I would always ask what like cuss words I could say because I didn't know what I could say because I was afraid I'd get you screwed. So I understand what you're saying with the TikTok thing because that would be very frustrating if like on YouTube we're able to say like shit stuff like that and not have a
Mm.
giant issue with it.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, like on TikTok and YouTube, I mean, you can say fuck, and Twitch is the same way. Like you can say whatever, and it's not really gonna matter very much. What is important though, this is more specific to TikTok, but if you ever notice someone if they post a video on TikTok and they swear, if they have a video that they're like putting the words and stuff like that almost as like you could read it as they're saying it, like subtitles
Yeah.
essentially. If they swear, they won't put the actual cuss word in the subtitles that they write on the screen. So
Right.
like TikTok, if you write swear words on the video itself, it's less likely to get promoted. So that's why people will do that. So like if they actually swear in the video, but they put like subtitles and stuff, they'll put like fudge or something, or they'll like put an asterisk there and stuff like that. They
Mhm.
won't actually put the cuss word on there. Um, YouTube is like the same way. You don't want to put like a, you don't want to put like a swear word in a thumbnail or something like that,
Of course.
or like in a title. But for
Makes
the
sense.
most part, like yeah, if it's in the video, it doesn't matter.
Right, right. Okay, so now that we kind of talked a lot about like gaming stuff like that, and I kind of want to go into the real world now. Snap back to reality really quick. Um, so obviously like 2020 is over, and there's some messed up shit that happened in the last year.
Yeah.
How out of all do you feel like 2021 is going to be more of a progressive year? We were moving forward. We're kind of going past all that stuff. We're working on it, or do you just feel like we're going to end up having the same issues all over again?
Um, I mean, I was saying for the last couple weeks, man. I mean, this was more specific to like gaming and content. Because obviously, end of the year, everyone has goals. But I mean, this could apply to anything. Um, everyone sets goals for the new year and plans that they have and stuff like that. And like the thing is if you're not making any changes from what you did this past year, there's no reason to believe the next year is going to be any different.
Right.
And so, like, I mean, more specifically, like with the coronavirus thing, like, this idea that coronavirus is just going to go away in 2021 is just idiotic. Like, I hope people realize that we're going to start the year with a huge influx of cases because of Christmas and New Year's and stuff like that. It's like we're gonna start the year with a lot of shit, right?
Yeah.
And like people, you have to realize if you don't change anything, there's no reason to believe it's going to be any different. But I mean, 2021 it's got a low bar.
It really
Like
does. It really
it's got
does.
a really low bar. So like, I mean, I would imagine it can't get much worse than what we're at. But
Yeah.
I like you have to you just have a plan. And when people set goals, like this is more specific to like content and stuff like that. Like I made goals for 2021 and stuff like that. And do I have numbers and stuff like that that I want to hit by the end of the year? Sure, but for the most part, you know, my main goals are just focused on building good habits and being consistent in a plan that will allow me to actually achieve those goals instead of like just saying, "Oh, I want, you know, 100,000 and blah blah blah," and then not do anything beyond that, not actually make a plan to have that, and then by the end of the year, if nothing's going on, then I'm like, oh, well, that's not going to happen, and then you just kind of quit. You know,
Yeah. I think that's
it's
a big issue for a lot of people. We all know the same thing happens every year. Everyone's like, "Oh, this year I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna
yeah. I
work
was
out."
actually just about to mention, yeah, yeah,
There's so many
yeah,
people that they're like, "Okay, I'm gonna go to the gym this year," and then they get 2, 3 weeks in, and they're like, "I don't want to go to the gym today. I'm not feeling
yeah,
it." And then
yeah.
2 months later, they're like, "Dang, I used to go to the gym. I like the way I felt back then. Why did I stop going?" It's like,
Yep.
come on, bro.
And
You knew
for
what
the
you did.
most part, like people quit because they didn't have a plan going
Yeah,
into the gym. Maybe like the first couple times they went, they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll do like arms today," and then next day I'll do legs or whatever, blah blah blah. But then
and their
like they didn't
workouts are like
really
2 minutes long.
exactly like they didn't really have a plan beyond like the few workouts that they had in their head, and then it's like once they're done with that, then like, oh, okay, whatever,
All
you know?
right, I did curls a little bit today. I benched like five
Yeah, I'm good.
pounds 5 times, and
I'm
that
healthy
was a
now.
whole thing. And then they'll go home and they'll look at themselves in the mirror and they're like, "Dang!" But this is also the flip side. They'll go look at their mirror and they're like, "Dang, I look good." Just from that tiny, because obviously you're gaining confidence from going because you
Oh
feel
yeah,
like
for
you're
sure.
bettering yourself.
Yeah,
But the issue is people will go and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm not seeing a difference every single time I go." And it's almost like uh when someone has an amazing experience and then their life goes back to normal, it's like that your adrenaline was so high, your hopes are so high, and now you're depressed. That's how people
yeah.
are when they go to the gym. They see themselves looking great one time, and then they feel giant, and then they
Mm,
go home, they go back the next day, and they're like, this doesn't feel good at all, like I'm
yeah.
not enjoying myself. And
And even like for me, it's even more drastic because like my body changes a ton in a very short amount of time. So like, I mean, I don't know if you even noticed like back in baseball when we would do like our winter workouts and stuff like that, and we'd be lifting for like the first 2 months, like I would literally gain a solid 20, 30 pounds in the 1 to 2 months that we were
Right.
doing in the gym workouts. And then, by the time, I mean, for the most part, I would keep it during the season because obviously we were, active and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like after once the season's done, I lose that weight so quick. And so like the the problem for me this past year, like me and my brother, we started 2020 going to the gym for the first 2 months. And we had a solid routine. And like honestly, I was feeling really good. I was gaining weight. I was feeling good, everything. But then COVID happened.
Yeah.
And so like
That
it
did
was it
mess
was
a
it
lot
was
of
a
people up.
huge kick to the nuts because I was like, man, I finally got in the routine. I was finally, starting to feel good. And then COVID happened. Obviously, we can't go anymore. I lost all the weight that I gained
Hmm.
and more. And now it's just like, oh, okay. You know?
And I think a lot of your viewers wouldn't aren't. I'm sure there's a majority of them that don't know. I've known you my entire life, and
Yep.
eat more than any person your size should ever eat. And
Yes,
that's one thing that has always frustrated me because I can't eat that much, and I just get like large stomach. And you
yeah.
eat it, and it's like, where did that thing go? Because I don't know.
My metabolism is I mean it goes into like how much weight I gain and lose at once. Like metabolism is insane.
Yeah.
Like literally, if I like the food I just ate before we started here, it will be through my body by the end of the day. Literally, and I usually if I go out to eat and we go to like me and my family used to go to like birthday dinners. One of the classic things we would do for my brother's birthday is go to Red Lobster, eat all you can eat shrimp. I would literally be in the bathroom at the restaurant by the time you're done eating. Like it stuff goes right through me. So like I mean, especially like during the season and stuff like that, I would eat easily like 6 to 8 thousand calories a day, bare minimum, because I had to.
Yeah.
And like most of the time, I wouldn't even gain anything anyway.
I wish I could do that because I hated this dude, ladies and gentlemen. This guy. I remember this to this day. It was the day we had gone to Buffalo Wild Wings, after practice or something like that. And you or I gotten like the spiciest thing they had, and you decided you wanted to get like I think it was a medium or large. And I have a hard
Yeah,
time finishing that. And you finished it before I even finished like
yeah,
my 7 wings. Granted, they
yeah,
were hot, but I definitely should have finished. And it was just insane to me that you finished them, and you were like, "Oh, I'm good," and you just drove back.
yeah.
And I was so it
Yep.
made me mad that you were able to do that so easy without an issue.
It's like it's such a blessing and a curse though, because I you can probably I'm thin as fuck, and
Right.
it's like I can't especially when I'm not able to work out, I can't really like I can't put on any weight. Now when I am able to work out though, the weight that I put on is like literally muscle for the most. Like I mean, even we haven't done anything, especially since high school ended in terms of like sports and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like my body fat percentage is still like 10%.
That's insane to
Like
me.
it's and when we're in sports, I think the last the last body fat percentage test or whatever that we did for gym in senior year, I think my percentage was 7%. And that's like getting to a point where it's too low, right?
Yeah, at that
And
point, I would
so,
assume you to be like a jacked dude that was like a
yeah.
bodybuilder.
Do you remember in 8th grade, where I made like a diving catch against Cole City?
I
And
don't know.
so like it was in Cole City. You remember how their field had like a pretty sharp like transition from the infield to the outfield,
Yeah.
and it was made of rocks,
Yes.
right?
Not a very
And
good
so
field.
like I made not a very good field, especially for a town that has money. Anyway, like so I made the diving catch, and like my side landed kind of on that transition, and I landed on a rock. And then because of that catch, I literally me landing on my side like that caused internal bleeding in my
I
body because I
remember that.
bruised my abdominal wall. I was out for 2 weeks,
Yep, I do
and that was
remember that now.
awful because like you can imagine. Okay, listen, internal bleeding in your intestines. I don't think I have to explain what the side effects of that is. Okay, like it's not a good time.
A whole lot
Okay,
of red.
so yeah, not a good time. And that was just from a diving catch in baseball. So like, I got no padding, dude.
Yeah,
It's rough.
I now I do remember that because that was the year I had a broken leg, and I
Yeah,
still
actually, yeah,
I
yeah,
still tried out and made the team, and then found out my leg was broken after I went to tryouts, and then went to
yeah.
football practice after those tryouts. And I was
I
like, "Oh,
remember
my
that
leg just
actually.
sprained. It's sprained. I can walk."
It's a
And I was
sprain.
limping
Yeah, you're
around,
good.
having a hard time.
Yeah,
I remember that now.
and I love the 8th grade team though.
I do miss all
I
that.
loved Rotor too. Goddamn.
That was a great man. I now this is so far fetched, but if I one day could get that man on this, I'm telling you, my life would be complete. I wouldn't need anything
Don't
else.
be in that 20%, dude.
He would. It would be so
Uh,
funny.
freaking Rotor.
Now for
I wonder
the
if I can find that guy on like Facebook or something.
I think he still lives at that same place he's always lived.
I would imagine he does.
Now for the people that are watching that don't know who this guy is, he was our gym teacher from like middle school, or from like 6th grade to 8th grade. This guy had
Dude,
this
love the guy.
massive, jacked Arnold Schwarzenegger kind
Yeah.
of guy. Like he was massive, and he had this voice. When he talked, it echoed. Like,
Yeah. He just
hey,
like
and he did
think of Kronk from like Emperor's New
literally.
Groove. Like
That's his
literally.
voice.
That's the type of voice, man. Yeah.
Watching him,
Gotta love that
he would
guy.
run, and his arms were too big for him to run normal like this. So he would
Yeah.
have to like space out his arms to run around. It was great to watch him.
Dude. He was a good baseball coach too, man.
And as an eighth
Love that
grader,
guy.
you look up to a dude like that, and you're like, "That's the guy I'm gonna follow. If he tells me to
Yeah.
do something, I'm gonna do it."
Yeah.
And
It was the same thing with Hines though too, man. Like, God, I loved freshman year and sophomore year too in baseball with Hines.
I think the issue that sucked was if we were 2 years younger, the things he said and did would have totally been okay. But the
Yeah.
fact that we were older, the fact that we were in high school in the year that we were, that everyone was starting to get like, "Oh, you can't say that to high schoolers." It's not like they
Yeah.
cuss up the wazoo all the time. Like I
Yeah.
was saying, I was cussing in 8th grade, and then
Dude,
I get to high
dude,
school, I'm saying things that shouldn't be said.
you remember some of the things Hines said to me?
Yeah, he would. That guy
Like,
had no filter. He didn't care.
it was hilarious, dude. It was absolutely hilarious.
The guy had no filter. Did not care what. He just wanted to play. He wanted to coach baseball, and he was
Yeah.
a solid coach. He had the intent. He knew what he was doing, and it was great. But the issue, like I see that as a bigger issue nowadays. You got coaches that are just gonna like me and you. We grew up playing together. We grew
Mm,
up with the same coaches from the time we were 9 years old until we were 15.
yeah.
So we knew our coaches were hard on us. They called us
Yeah.
names. They like threw things at us. So
Just little, yeah.
you get kids nowadays, they're like, "Oh, my coach is screaming at me. I don't want to play." And that's the
Yeah.
problem that's the
Like,
problem that we're having now.
people, I mean, more specifically with Hines, like, I mean, when people would hear about, the stuff that like Hines would say to us and stuff like that, like, I mean, obviously, Hines himself, he didn't like mean to hurt us
No.
and or anything, right?
And
Like,
he knew that he
but
wasn't.
exactly. Like, and most of the time, like, there was like a mutual like understanding that like if something did kind of cross the line, we would be like, hey,
Yeah, we would call, but
you know,
the good thing
like,
was is
and
he
it'd be
let us
done.
make fun of him back. So if he
Exactly.
said something,
Yeah.
chances
And
are
that
he was getting clapped right back.
exactly. And it made for like we had a very, very close team
Yep.
and a very, we had a very close relationship, good culture in that team. And to people outside looking in, they're like, what the fuck? This guy's like bullying his teammates. But like that just wasn't it just wasn't the case like at all. Very far from it.
And
You
what I
know?
find hilarious is when when he got fired at our school, transferred to the other school. When we played them, he grabbed the fungo and hit the ball into the dugout, and everyone was so hyped about it. Like they loved it. Like our
Yeah.
whole team, like they were all hyped that
Yeah.
their former coach hit a baseball into their dugout. Like any other
Yeah.
team would be like, or other people would be like, "What the hell just
Yeah,
happened?
what the hell just
Why
happened?
is
Yeah, with like
nobody
the guy
talking
trying
about
to
this?"
kill somebody or yeah, literally.
And but that's just the thing. Like, in my opinion, people that do not play sports, that are not active in sports, like they should not have any say as to how a coach coaches. If
Yeah,
the
it,
team has an issue with it, the team can bring it up with the coach. But
yeah.
there are certain teams, especially in our case, that they formed that whole bond like I'm gonna bring up playing in college.
Mhm.
In college, my team was close. Everyone loved each other, but our coach was an ass.
Sounds familiar.
I didn't like my coach, and I'm not gonna out him. He's a great guy personally, but
Mm.
as a baseball coach and as a head coach, I just wasn't a fan of it. I'm not making that as an excuse of why I didn't play, why I didn't like get opportunities.
Mm.
I just you get some of those coaches that are like, why are you a coach? He's
Yes.
only
Yes.
it's like, okay, you're a
Yes.
coach because your team does good and you're getting the credit for it. And that's how I
Yeah.
kind of saw it as. I didn't see
Mm.
because it's not like we were getting like expertise batting practice. Like half the time we had practices on our own. Like we had to go by
Mm.
and just do it. And it's
Mm.
like, come on, man, come on. You could tell us a little bit something like that. I know you know
Yeah.
the feeling because we dealt with that senior year.
Yes.
And it's not
And
like
I
they're
mean,
bad
like,
people. They just
no.
shouldn't. They
I-
should learn how to coach a little more in depth.
Yeah. And I like. I mean, yeah. I don't want to out our coach. For junior and senior year because he actually might somehow happen to listen to it. But like, even if he does, okay, I want you to understand. Like, I feel like most of us actually liked him as a
Oh,
person.
I love him to death.
Yeah, like great teacher. Loved his
Yeah,
class. Very chill. I especially in terms of teachers, like understood, how a kid's brain at that age works. Where working for 90 minutes straight usually isn't extremely realistic, and having like a 5 minute, hey, let's just stop what we're doing, let's watch a funny video or something like that real quick, just to have like a reset,
yeah,
is extremely important. And like, love this class, great guy, but I think we can both agree in terms of like being a baseball coach. Um, I think he was at a disadvantage because we all played together
we all
for pretty
knew
much
everyone's
our
strengths. Yeah,
yeah. We knew everyone's strengths. We all played together. Like you said, since we were like freaking 8 years old.
and the thing that sucked was
And
he didn't realize that was we started playing baseball. That entire team started playing together at 9 years old.
exactly, like,
So we all graduated. We were all 18. So we were
yeah,
playing together for that long. So we all knew exactly what our strengths were, who should play where, what the order should be,
exactly,
because that's what's. I mean, we were 12 years old beating 15-year-olds. We were 12 years
yeah,
old going 50-2. Like under
yeah.
no
Literally,
circumstances.
literally going 50-2. Like, that's not even an exaggeration. We literally went 50-2 in I
Yeah,
think our
and
league.
we were the small. It was
Like,
by far the smallest team out of all.
yeah,
Like other teams would recruit kids from out of state to come play,
yeah,
and it was like one of those things that you're like, well, what are you doing, man?
yeah.
Why are you
And like,
changing things
you know,
now?
and Heinz knew us from when we were kids.
Yep.
And Rotor knew us from when we were kids. And like, obviously all the coaches that we had for years growing up, through all those years, they obviously pretty much, we grew up with them. And so like, yeah, it's at a disadvantage when we get to like, all that time that we put in, it's basically to work for winning a state title for a high school. I mean, essentially, right? And it's like, then you get to that point and we're playing for a guy that really doesn't know who we are.
Yeah.
And so it's 100% like a disadvantage towards him. And I 100% will give him slack for that.
Yeah.
Um,
You knew he was trying
but
because he brought a coach in from out because he wanted someone to help with pitching, and
yeah,
he wanted so bad to. You could tell that he loved doing what he was doing. You could
yeah,
tell, and he wanted to have a winning team, but at the same time, I don't want to say this like sounding like a dickhead, but he lacked the experience of playing at a higher level other than high school. So he
mm,
played college football, and that's a whole different coaching scheme. College football, you can move people in and out, and there's no
exactly.
issue. But you play college baseball, you realize,
Yeah,
okay, this is what needs to happen. This is how I should coach, and it's
yeah,
not his fault. He went to college. He played what he wanted to play. He did what he needed to do. But it sucks because it reflects on the players, and they're not able to fully.
yeah,
Because when you go from a team of a small town that's beating big towns, granted, we did lose to some really, really good teams that were big towns that we had no business playing. But if
yes,
you bring a small town team with a bunch of small town guys that are fairly decent at the game, and you have a turnover rate of 2 players out of that team going to college to play that sport, that's when you know there was an issue.
Yeah. Like,
Technically, our senior year, 1 player, because that was me, and our junior year, they had 1 player that went. Or the year after us, they had 1 player that went. He ended up going D1.
that's Keaton.
Right.
Like, and we all knew he was going.
Yeah,
like,
we knew that from the time we were 11 years old.
Yeah, like and I mean, I'm sure Connor could have gone if he wanted to, but like, it's me, like I'm not a stranger to like having to earn my place in things and whatnot. But like, dude, fucking hell, man, like senior year, bro, that guy, listen, this guy had me start like I started a game at every position other than catcher and first.
I didn't know that. That's kind of funny.
Dude, I started a second. I had a game where I started a short. I even started at third for a couple games.
Which is crazy to me.
Like, dude, if you would have told somebody, not necessarily like I had the arm for it, like I'm fine. But it's like you would have told somebody I would start at third, they'd probably been like, huh?
Yeah, if I didn't know you and I saw you, I'm like, oh, how tall are you? 5'6"?
Yeah, 5'6", 5'7", yeah.
So I look at this 5'6", 5'7" guy, and I'm like, oh, what sports do you play? And you tell me baseball, and you tell me you were at third, you're starting at third base that day. I would look you in your eyes and say, dude, what in trouble? Because there's no way.
Exactly. Like, and I think like people 100% would I feel like would be surprised, especially when I get on the mountain for like how hard I would be able to throw for my size.
And that's why you were great, because anyone that would go up there, they'd be like, oh my god, this kid is so tough. There's no way he's throwing.
Yeah.
And you get up there and you're pumping it down you're throwing some crazy pitches that I've never heard of. And like, you would come up with some pitches that I've never heard of, and they would do what you said they were going to do, but they weren't regular pitches. It was weird to me.
I mean, for the most part, like that was my dad for a lot of it, but
your dad is probably one of the
my dad is an incredibly smart baseball mind, and like if he ever actually got a chance to coach anything, I'm sure he would be very, very good. But you
definitely remember this, but there was a time where I was having an issue. I was pulling everything, and I was pissing me off. And your dad took me and you went down to the island. We hit
we went
like a month straight, and I didn't pull a ball for the next like 2.5 years. I hit everything dead center, and it was perfect.
Yeah,
and like, I don't think there was anyone else that could have taught me that in a month of going once a week.
Yeah, I think like a lot of stuff with my dad though, like he
Very vocal.
a lot. Yes, very vocal. Very much a hard ass, but at the same time, like I think people, I would like to think that most parents liked me, and they knew that I was a good kid. Maybe they thought that I was afraid to be anything else because of my dad, but like, I mean, the reason why I was able to be as good as I was, given what I was given genetically,
right,
was because of him and what he would teach me and my brother, like being able to just in any sport really, but like, yeah, I mean, there's definitely his coaching style would not work with everybody, especially not in today's age. Kind of going back to the conversation we had before, but
the guy shoved a cane through a fence and said, "This is gonna be you." Like, that's when I knew that.
Yeah.
For the people that don't know what his dad looks like, I'm sure right now with the way we're painting him as what we like think of him, you're probably thinking he's a giant dude.
Yeah.
But this man he's like my height. He's an average older guy, and he's got a cane.
Yeah.
He looks harmless. This man will just literally
he will wreck
rip
your
you
day.
a new one.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, he spent 6 years with, like, he's former Navy. He spent like 6 years of his life on a sub. He was a nuclear operator. He got hurt on the job. He's had a cane ever since. Like, he's
He's a man and a
He's a
half.
tough mind.
Right.
He's a man and a half. He's been through, he's been through a bit, like yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So
he's been around.
so I'm gonna start getting just kind of ask you a couple of, like, last questions before we head out. So now that the year's over, you got kind of established yourself in your dominance on 2020. Because I mean, you absolutely blew up, guy. Like, they see
Yeah, I mean,
seeing you accomplish what you accomplished in a year where that should not have happened. You've grown so much, and it's great to see. What are your plans right now for 2021?
well, I think like, I mean, if I was just to list the numbers, like here, I'll just list the numbers right now. Like uh, but people probably think, well, you didn't blow up that much, but like, I don't think people realize how hard to build like a floor of a following is to do. That's like, I mean, you ask like any creator, dude, it's especially if you ask a YouTuber,
Yeah,
they'd probably tell you the first hardest subs to get are your first like 1,000,
I can
first
imagine.
10,000, and after that, it just kind of naturally grows. And like so right now on TikTok, I have like 18.3K. On Twitch, I have actually I can look at the number right now. I have about 6K. On Twitter, I have about like 1.8K. Those are the main three that I really care about. Um, so it's like, I mean, do those numbers like pop out to you?
Well,
Not
to
necessarily.
most people though, they're to most people they're not going to realize how hard of a struggle that is.
Right.
And to
Yeah.
someone that obviously someone like myself or someone like anybody that's trying to get big on the internet, they realize, holy shit, this isn't
It's
Instagram.
difficult, dude.
You can
Yeah.
go on Instagram, get 500 likes and followers easily.
Mm.
You go on a platform where your main priority is to entertain people. That's where your issue starts to happen, because if you're not a natural entertainer, or you can't naturally speak to your audience or like relate to your audience, you're not going to have a good time trying to get followers.
Yeah.
And
And like on YouTube, I have like a little over 200 subs right now. Um, that's another number that I really, really want to grow in this year. But like I said, it's so difficult to try and grow that floor. Once you
yeah,
have that floor of a following, then you're able to go. You're able to consistently grow because the thing is like you right now. This is your first podcast, right?
yep,
And even from your first video, even from your first intro video, I already know that you're in a good position because there's a lot of people that they start a YouTube channel or they start a Twitch stream and whatever, they stream to zero people
hmm,
or they post a video and they get zero views or maybe like max 510, right?
right,
And the hardest thing is trying to improve your content when you don't have any feedback.
yeah,
And so like if you have people, even if it's like two people, two to three, 5, 10, whatever it may be, if you have that many people that can give you feedback on how to improve your shit, that's huge.
yeah,
Because there's gonna be a situation where like, you know, one like first impressions matter
hmm,
a ton, right? And so, like for example, if I was to get like I'm a stream later today, if I get a big host from somebody that I haven't got hosted before, whatever, and let's say it's like a couple thousand people, like that first couple seconds of interaction between me and those couple thousand people, that's huge.
yeah,
And like if you haven't been in that situation before, you're more than likely not gonna really know what to do with yourself.
yeah,
Like, dude, I mean, I can tell you, if you go back to like if you go back to the video of me getting hosted by Tim for the first time, I'm like literally sitting there speechless. I don't know what to fucking do because I'm just like, I haven't been in a situation before. I have so many people watching me. I'm like, my brain is just going all over the place, right? Now it's like, it's still difficult when you get, that kind of like, audience with you, but like you still, you've been there before. You kind of have like an idea, like, okay, this is how I should, greet people. I should give them a short explanation of who I am. I should, tell them what, to expect from me going forward, stuff like that. What kind of content I make is see if it interests them or something like that. So it's like there's, it takes time and it takes you have to learn, right?
right,
And a lot of people are stuck in that, especially this is more specific to streams, but like people that stream to zero viewers, what something that is so difficult to learn is to talk when your chat's not going.
Hmm.
Because the problem is that like if you're sitting there, if you're heavily reliant on your chat to interact with you to speak, like there's gonna be somebody that clicks onto your stream and is watching for a few seconds or whatever like that. If you're sitting in silence, there's no reason for them to talk.
Right.
Like if they sit there for 30 seconds to a minute and you haven't said a damn word, they're just gonna leave. And it's like as hard as it is, you have to be talking all the fucking time, no matter what. Just because you never know when someone's gonna click on that stream and that's gonna be your opportunity to make a first impression. And
Right.
so like
That
that's the difficult part. And
that's
that's
the
what you have to
thing.
learn.
I think that's it. That kind of helps weed out. The way I'm going to say this is going to sound so terrible, Ryan, but the way I'm going to say it is the correct way. I think
Okay.
it's a way to weed out the weak. So if you're streaming and you're literally just sitting there, you're not speaking, and you have no entertainment. You have And now I get if you're streaming on a PlayStation, you don't have the best looking stream. You're not gonna have an overlay.
Right.
You're not gonna have anything like that.
Yeah, there's not much you can do, you
So
know.
at that point, you should know you need to be an entertainer. If it means absolutely purposely sucking so that you can get good reactions, then do it. Not
Yeah.
everyone is watching Twitch streamers because they're good. I
Mhm.
know myself. I watch people because I just genuinely enjoy. I watch this dude carve wood. I don't even carve wood. I just watch it because I enjoy it. The guy talks. I
Yeah.
love his voice. He's from New Zealand. He has an amazing. I love the sound of his voice. But I just watch him because he talks. I
Yeah.
don't sit because I'm like, damn, this guy's a great wood carver. He's not saying a word, so he must be great. It's
Yeah.
like if you can say enough to get your viewers to enjoy it. I mean, that's the half of it, and you gotta at least look like you're enjoying yourself. Like if me and you were
Oh,
having this
absolutely.
entire conversation, and I was sitting here like staring at you like I could care less. If I'm a viewer, I'm
Right.
gonna look at that and be like, this guy's kind of a scumbag. I don't want to watch him.
Yeah, yeah. 100%. Absolutely.
And that's
And
a
it's like when you say like we got the week, it what I take that as because there's a lot of people that stream just because they look at a guy like Ninja and they're like, wow, he's made a lot of money.
and they think it happens overnight.
And yeah, they'll be like, well, if he can make a lot of money, then I'll make a lot of money too. But they don't realize that like Tyler literally had been playing like professional Halo for like at this point literally like 11 years. Like and he's been doing content since
Yeah,
Twitch was just in TV like 8 years ago.
yeah,
And like I mean it was a grind. Like it did, and obviously he blew up at Fortnite and everything, but like there was a lot of foundation work to get to that point where it even allowed him to blow up, you know? And so it's there's a lot of people that just stream because they think they're going to make money. They're not really there to entertain. They're not really there to like be a streamer, interact with people. And so yeah, they just like they'll throw up their stream, they'll sit with 0 viewers and they'll sit there and don't talk and then they just be like, "Well, someone donate me money and then I'll talk," or whatever. Like,
yeah.
it's like that kind of mindset and it's just, it's not going to get you anywhere.
And
It's not going to work.
there's people there's people that they'll go on social media literally for one sole reason, it's to get famous. They're not
Yeah.
doing it like how you and we do it because we enjoy it. We're already sitting at our computers.
Mhm.
We're already doing nothing. So at this point, what are we going to do? Sit here and do nothing and not possibly put out a video and have someone be entertained by it or not be able to bring other people joy? We're so we're sitting here and we're like, "All right, I'm going to do something that makes me happy that possibly will make other people happy as well."
Yeah.
And that's the issue with a lot of streamers. Like I know people that they literally stream and make YouTube videos because they just want to get famous. They have no intention of having people enjoy what they're doing.
Yeah, and like going back to building a floor, like people don't realize how important that is because like if you stream to 10 people, okay, you have 10 viewers. Like it might not sound like a lot, but first of all, if you were sitting at your desk here and I was playing video games and you put 10 people surrounding me,
Hmm.
you would think that'd be fucking insane.
Yeah,
Like you would think that'd be freaking dope.
yeah,
You'd be like 10 people are standing around me just to watch me do something. Like that's insane, right? So it's like if you think about it that way, that's still really cool. But also, like the difference, more specifically on Twitch, but really any platform, the difference between like someone browsing a stream with 0 viewers versus 10, there's such a big, like the amount of streamers that you pass in that time from 0 viewer. There's so many people streaming at 0 viewers, and you get to 10, that bumps you up so far to get noticed by more people. It's huge. It's literally huge,
And the
and
biggest thing
it's
that helps is friends. Like you have,
absolutely,
if
absolutely.
you make friends on the internet, so easy. You have them, then they're watching you play games, or they're just pulling up your stream just to pull it up to help you get that extra viewer.
Yeah, like
Even that's
what, like
enough.
one of the benefits for me, like when I started, I started playing competitive Overwatch, and like I never really streamed to 0 people
Hmm.
because when I started, like I the people that I play with every day, I play with the same people all the time, and they knew I was streaming, so they would just like pull up my stream on their phone or something.
Yeah.
Did they like really chat or anything? No, but that gave me like a free 5 6 viewers
Right.
all the time. And
Right.
the difference between 0 to 5 viewers is still like unbelievably huge. Like trust me, that I I'm kind of a nerd, so I love analytics, but it's also it's important to know analytics if you're actually trying to like, grow in content. It's
Right.
important to know the areas that you can grow in,
Yeah.
right? And so like if you just one of the best websites that ever existed, okay, is Twitch Tracker, all right? And you can go to Twitch Tracker and you can look at like how many people are streaming this game at this time during, whatever, right? And if you just look at like the amount of people that are streaming to 0 people versus the amount of people that are streaming to 5 people, it's unreal. And like you can look at how many viewers are technically up for grabs in each category, because it would be like, let's take Warzone for example.
Hmm.
Warzone would actually be a terrible game to stream if you're just starting out,
I can imagine.
because there's there's so many people streaming Warzone that the like quote unquote viewer to channel ratio, like if you took every single channel that was streaming Warzone, and obviously Warzone's very top heavy anyway, like you see the numbers that the top streamers
Hmm.
get. But if you took all the viewers and you took all the channels that were streaming it and you even it out to where each channel gets the same amount, it would be like maybe 10 to 12 people per channel. So like think about the numbers that the top guys get, and then think about how many people are streaming to like 0 people to even that out,
Yeah.
you know? And so it's like you have to be smart. Obviously, now here's the like first rule of thumb though, when it comes to content, you have to be doing something you enjoy. You have to. So if you enjoy Warzone, like don't take what I just said as to not do it. Because if you like you have to be doing something you enjoy. Don't stream a game just because there's an opportunity to grow there, right? Because if you don't like it, then people that go to watch you are probably not going to like it either. Like how if
Right.
you're not enjoying yourself and you're not having a good time, then how the fuck is the person watching you going to have a good time? It's not like it's not
Yeah.
really going to happen, right? So it's like you first have to do something that you really enjoy, but then be like, okay, what kind of content is actually available for me to grow in? Where is there viewers to grab? And what times of the day is better for me to stream, because there's more viewers at this time during the day with less channel streaming and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah. I think I love though that it's great that you do that because it shows that you want to have that dedication, that you want to get big, you want people to watch you, and you're not just, I'm just gonna stream and nothing's gonna happen. So if
Oh yeah.
you're actively trying to get new people to join your community,
Yeah.
it shows that you actually cared. You want to be something new. You want to be something. You don't just want to be one of those guys that's like, I'm famous, go me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
And,
you work
and
for it.
like I love streaming, and I want to have as many people in stream as I possibly can, because that's fun. That's fun. Like
Yeah.
it's a blast. It's a blast to have people watch you. It really is. And like my biggest advice to anybody that wants to start streaming is the work to actually grow your stream is never streaming itself. Never. Like the important work is what you do outside of streaming. Do you post consistently on TikTok? Do you post consistently on YouTube? because Twitch, if you're streaming on Twitch, the platform itself has no natural discoverability, and that's mainly because there's so many people streaming, and there's like, is it realistic for somebody to sit, and go to Twitch, go in the browser, and even that they added you can view streams from like low to high or whatever with terms of viewers,
Yeah.
like you're still scrolling forever
Oh yeah.
because it's just not realistic for people to find you naturally.
Right.
And so you have to bring people from TikTok, you have to bring people from YouTube. That's the work outside of streaming that's going to allow you to actually stream full time. Like
Right.
that's what you have to do. And also, this is like sidebar, but I know a lot of people complain about TikTok with like they'll be like, well, TikTok is just a place for like underage girls to dance, right? So I love TikTok,
Oh,
and
absolutely. Me too.
it is probably like my Twitter is still Twitter,
Yeah.
but TikTok, like by far, I love it more than Instagram. It's like I'm on TikTok like almost a full day practically. I mean, if especially if I'm not streaming, more than likely I'm scrolling TikTok or something.
And the
It's
thing
like some point.
the people looking out into like that aren't on TikTok like as much as you are, as much as I am, they're not gonna realize that there's so many different sides of TikTok that you don't
Yes.
like.
That's yeah, like you have to with the For You page, because TikTok is like it's such a beautifully designed app with the For You page and everything that like it's going to give you content that you watch. But you have to spend
Time.
probably like a weekish or so scrolling through stuff so then the app actually learns what you like.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, when you first get the app, is it probably going to give you like a bunch of videos of Charlie dancing or something like that? Probably, but that's because she has over a fucking 100 million followers. And it's
Yeah.
like, that's the most popular things on the app. So it's like, yeah, it's going to give you the most popular stuff first. But like, if you don't really, like, if you just scroll past it, if you don't like it, if you don't really watch the full video, if you don't leave a comment, it's probably not going to give you it again.
Right.
Like, and I mean, dude, is so like I've had people that are just like, yeah, TikTok's just a place for all I get is underage girls dancing. I'm like, well, bro, I'm like,
What does that say about you?
that's what I'm saying. Like, like here's the thing: if you've been using TikTok for a while, okay, and you still only get underage girls dancing, that means you're watching it. Like,
Right.
I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like, I mean, like literally, like, do I have attractive girls on my For You page? Yeah, but
Oh,
one of the
absolutely.
first
You're gonna.
yeah, but one of the first things that I do is like if I come across a new girl that's like they're doing some trend with like a dance or something like that. Literally, one of the first things I do is I click on the before I even watch like a second of the damn video. I click on the profile. If they have their age in the bio, if it's under 18, I fucking just swipe. I don't
Yeah.
interact with
Right.
it, and I won't see them again. That's the first like if they're of age, yeah, sure, and then I'll like watch the video, duh. But like there's a way to feed through underage girls dancing. Like it's more of a reflection on you than the platform itself. Like
Right.
I have a bunch of dogs. I obviously have gaming content because
Mm.
that's what I interact with. Like I don't know, it's sidebar, but people need to stop just fucking being like, yeah, TikTok's such a bad app because Charlie D'Amelio dancing, whatever. Like, just relax, dude.
And TikTok, the thing with TikTok that I love that I can use to my advantage, you use to your advantage, I can take clips from here, put it on there, and then potentially get viewers. You can take
Absolutely.
clips from your Twitch and put it on TikTok, and you're getting viewers. You're getting people that are watching it. So TikTok not only, yes, it's an app for people to, I don't know why they enjoy doing it, but go on there and dance like they're working at the Silver Slipper, and but it's also a great place for people like you and I to grow our platform, and especially someone like myself who's literally starting from nothing
Yeah.
and grow that platform because I enjoy having people watch.
Yeah.
And not a
Like,
lot of people are utilizing that either. But now that I see a lot more people utilizing it now, but you also you can tell that they don't know, they're not established enough, that they're still trying to figure stuff out.
right.
And that's actually TikTok's actually where I got the idea to do this whole thing.
Which I by the way, just sidebar again, like if you're a girl that does like dancing videos and stuff like that TikTok, like I have no problem with that.
Oh
Like
yeah, we're not hating you.
secure your bag. Like trust me. you're fine. Like I'm not hating on you. Don't like it's you do whatever you want to do. Like people that have OnlyFans. Like, dude, fuck. If I was an attractive girl and I had the confidence to do that, yeah, I'd
Oh,
make an OnlyFans. The amount of money that you
1,000,000%.
make, like, dude, you do you. Like 100%. Like if you have the confidence to do that, by all means,
I would never step
good for
foot in
you.
like another building again to work. I would sit at my
Oh,
house
absolutely not. No.
and I would make that money
Yeah,
easily.
absolutely. And like, but like you said though, I mean, TikTok's really a tool, and it's a it's a tool that has a lot of potential. Because like we were talking about earlier, like it can blow up so fast, so quick, and you know, we were mentioning like the creator fund before. So I remember I made a video on why you shouldn't join the creator fund. For me right now, I rejoined it, but that was because I believed that okay, so for example, when I first joined the creator fund, so like we mentioned before, it pays you for like per 1,000 views.
Okay.
So you get like 5 cents per 1,000 views. Um, and so when I joined, I was in it for like about a month or so, and I realized like the videos I was posting, it wasn't really getting like the normal amount of views I usually got, and especially with the way the TikTok algorithm works, like so your first 5 videos on a channel on a new TikTok is very important because your first 5 videos are automatically promoted by TikTok. So
Mhm.
like they will automatically send them to the For You page on other people. After the first 5 videos, you're kind of on your own with your following, right? And what you can bring to yourself. So your first 5 are very important. And so like how the For You page works is they'll send a video to like 500 people, right? They'll
Okay.
put on 500 people's For You page. How that video does with 500 people, if it does good enough in terms of likes, in terms of comments, if the most important one is watch time. So like if they watch the full video, then it's more likely to get shared. So like if they'll send it to 500 people. If it does well enough, they'll send it to 1,000. Does If it does well enough with 1,000, they'll send it to 5,000, and then to 10,000, and then to 20, 50, and it just keeps going.
Yep.
So like a lot of the times, especially for me when I've been doing this for a bit now, like if I see a video hits this amount of views, I can usually tell, okay, this video should hit that. Okay,
Yeah.
this should hit that because it's like little benchmarks, right? And so what I was noticing during that month is like it would hit a certain point, and I was like, okay, it should hit that, but then it just like stopped out of nowhere. It just didn't grow anymore. And I was like, okay, well, that's kind of fishy. And so I decided, and obviously, 5 cents per 1,000 views. Typically, like if I post a regular video and it doesn't really get any For You page action and stuff like that, I'll usually get like between 1 to 2,000 views,
Hmm.
bare minimum. And so obviously the money's not crazy. It doesn't really matter to me much. I'd rather like actually grow, right?
Right.
And so I left the creator fund. The the following like 48 hours after I left the creator fund, videos that I posted weeks ago, literally like 2, 3 weeks ago, I gained over 300,000 views in 48 hours. And because I left the
Jesus.
creator fund, that's like that 300,000 views that my videos all of a sudden started trending after I left the fund. I don't get paid for the views, obviously.
Right.
Which, like, here, let me just do the math really quick. So you're 300,000 times 0.0.5. So yeah, 300,000 views times 5 cents is about 15,000. So like that's a decent amount of money that I just didn't get,
Right.
right? So yeah, I feel like the math's wrong there or
I was gonna
something. I don't
say
know.
it sounds a little off.
It seems like a lot. I feel like
Is it
maybe it's not.
1,500?
It might be. No, actually, you know what it is? Hold on. Let me do this really quick. It might be. It might not be 5 cents. It actually might be. Actually, hold on. Here, I can just look at my phone because I can look at the pro account shit. Creator dashboard.
When you left, did you had to just reapply for everything else?
So, well, yeah, I was like, so I was out of it for a few months, and I essentially like after that initial growth of views and stuff like that, I didn't like see a whole bunch of growth beyond that. And the main reason for that is I think my videos were affected because I was already in the fund.
Right.
So like I felt like, you know, the algorithm like already associated my account with being in the fund before. And so I don't know. I didn't really see much of a difference for a few months, so I just decided to go back into it.
Right.
And so like what I would suggest for people is if like if you start making videos on TikTok and you get that 10K followers, just wait to join the fund until you can actually like make a decent amount of money in the fund with the following that you have. Because like when you have like 18K is a solid following, right?
Right.
But 18K followers is not like enough for my videos to get sent to the For You page and stuff like that just by the following that I have, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're Charlie, for example, she gets like bare minimum 5 to 6 million views per video.
Yeah.
So like obviously it would be worth for her to join the fund because she doesn't need
Which is where I'm kind of
the
confused.
For You page to make money.
She isn't Charlie D'Amelio isn't. She's like 16 or 17, right?
Yeah, I think she's 16, 17,
So
yeah.
she wouldn't be able to do the creator fund.
Technically no, but
But I know she
she
makes money
makes
from TikTok.
yes. I mean, well, so I wonder I actually wonder how that works. I wonder if they uh I wonder if her parents are like
Maybe her parents run the account.
technically yeah. Like I wonder if her parents are like technically the owners of the account or something like that.
Which would that would make sense to do. I mean, if you're
Right.
getting that
But
much,
also, I
it's
mean,
not
she gets a crazy amount of money from like brand deals and stuff like
right.
that though too. So
But if you
like
think
brand
about it too, it's not her. Most people would be like, "Oh, her parents are exploiting her," blah blah. But like in
yeah,
that
yeah.
situation, if she's missing the opportunity to make $10,000 a video, like, come on, I the dumbest person in the room would know that that's not exploitation. That's just her
Oh yeah.
parents being smart and knowing, okay, our daughter can make money off just dancing.
They for the most part, this will go for streamers too. Like a lot of the money that people like I don't think people realize how much um brand deals are.
I can imagine they're a lot.
Like the sponsorship money that people get is insane. Like okay, yeah, I totally did the math wrong before. No, it is. So I was right. It's about. This says average of 2 to 4 cents. I think my actual like agreement here, the contract for TikTok, it says 4 cents. So let's see if I actually did the math correctly. So it would be about let's see, 300,000 is what I missed before. Oh, that's why I didn't divide it by 1,000 views. That was the problem before. So it'd be 300, not 300,000. It'd be 300 times 0.5. So yeah, no, $15, not 15 grand.
I
I'm
was
an
gonna say,
idiot.
God damn. Yeah,
But like,
which would make it $15 definitely makes more sense.
but like, in terms of the total amount of views on my channel, though, like I think there isn't a way for me to technically. I would have to like go through every single one of my videos. I haven't done that in a while, but like I remember before I did this like 2 months ago when I went through all my videos and I just added up all the views. I had like a total of like I think 5 to 6 million views on
That's
my
really good.
channel. So like, so let's just say okay, so Charlie gets like 5 million, and that's lowballing it too per video.
Oh yeah.
So we'll divide that by 1,000 times that by yeah. So she'll get about $250 to $300 per video that
Which
she posts,
and the thing she'll post like 6 a
and
day.
that's lowballing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so and yeah, she'll you know
So you're
if you're smart,
posting
you'll
3
post
or
multiple times a day.
right. You're posting 3 or 4 videos a day. And at that point, you're getting $300 a video. You you're making more than the average person would in a week. The more than almost
Oh yeah,
anybody would in a week.
yeah, and like I mean, she gets like she's had brand deals with fucking Dunkin' Donuts. She's had brand deals with like
The NFL.
yeah, literally the NFL. Like she was at the NBA All Star game.
Yeah, for no
Like,
reason.
like for I mean, it's the amount of money there is crazy, but um, which segue to who Valkyrie is, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I have a picture with her like right here for people that are watching right there. So she's been streaming on YouTube for like a year now, right? And the other day she actually like accidentally showed because she was looking at her creator studio on her stream for like her recent like view
Mhm.
how her views were doing and stuff like that. And I just don't think she realized that at the bottom right of the screen it shows you your estimated revenue, and her estimated revenue for the past month was $177,000.
Holy shit.
So yeah, in terms of money, YouTube is really where you make a lot.
Yeah.
Because so think about it this way, like for streamers that um okay, let's take Tim for example, right? Um Most streamers, especially your top guys, they don't edit, they don't do any of that for their YouTube channel and stuff like that. They obviously pay people to do that, right? And all their content comes from that stream.
Right.
So I'll go to Tim's channel
Because if
and
you think about it, he is making being a streamer and a YouTuber all in one. You are given the opportunity to make double or
yeah,
money.
you're making
Yeah,
so much money on recycled content.
literally. You're
So
streaming to
like
those people, and those people are then subscribing. Then they're donating. So you're getting all the money from this. Let's say Tim makes $2,000 on a like 4 hour stream. So Tim
oh, he
makes.
makes more than that.
I'm saying a 4 hour stream. I thought that
Oh,
sounded
dude,
reasonable.
no, bro. I'm listen. Well, this is more specific with Tim though, because other streamers don't. But like, Tim starts his stream out for like the first like hour or two of doing just chatting, and just one of these days, just get up in the morning, sit through his just chatting session, and just watch the money come in.
All right, so
I'm telling you,
let's say he makes $5,000 in that that
yeah.
time frame. Makes $5,000 in that time frame to then post it on YouTube to where he's making, let's say for that month. So he's making 177. I'm just gonna put it around Valkyrie. I'm sure he probably makes more than her because
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like him and her. You know what?
Rachel's blown up a ton.
I was about to say she has gotten big. I've been seeing her a lot on my recommended lately. But if you put that into a category of its own, like YouTube, a category its own, all that money in one spot, you're like, holy shit, that's a lot of money for a month.
Mm.
And then you put the Twitch money with it, you're like, holy shit,
Dude,
that's a lot.
so here, I can just do the really, really quick math for you, okay? So all the content comes from a stream, right?
Okay.
And so Tim has 3 YouTube channels. Most people have 3 YouTube channels, which by the way, we can talk about YouTube here in a second. I can give you like just a rundown of how YouTube works a little bit. So the main reason why big streamers will have multiple YouTube channels, like Cypher has like 3 different ones. Tim's made
Mr. Beast has like 9. And each of them
yeah,
have well over 2 million followers, which is weird.
right. So the main reason for that is because you don't really want to like post such different stuff on one channel
Mm.
because you want to keep consistency. So like what Tim does is like his main channel will be a lot of Warzone, and his second channel is like mostly just chatting stuff, and then he has a third one that's just like random gaming stuff, random games, whether it's like Overwatch or whatever. So like because he on his main channel he wants to keep it Warzone because the more that you post a certain type of content, if you're consistent with that, the more likely it's going to get recommended, right?
Right.
So, and by the way, this is all content that he does in his one stream that he sends to people that edits, right? So not only does he get the money from that he gets from streaming, but that recycled content, you go to his main YouTube channel. So we'll go by typically he gets about, and this is probably being very generous because there's some videos that are over 600K. There's a couple that are over 400K. There's a couple that are lower, but we'll just average it out and say he gets about 300K views a video, right?
Okay.
So that recycled content on YouTube, it gets about $5 per 1,000 views. So let's take 300K, right, and divide it by 1,000, which is going to be 300. Times that by 5. Okay, that's about $1,500 per YouTube video on recycled content
Which is
from his stream
insane.
that he's already making so much money on
Yeah.
his stream. And you go to his second YouTube channel, which is literally you go to his second YouTube channel where it's all just chatting. Literally all the stuff that he is chatting about is from donos. So he's already making money from talking about that, right? And so his second YouTube channel will typically get we'll average it out to be about 50K per video. Okay. So 50K divided by 1,000 is gonna be about 50. You times that by 5. So he gets $250 per video for that. So not only is he making money by talking about that subject already,
Uh-huh.
but he gets an additional 250 for making a YouTube video on it.
And that's what YouTubers are like that. Those people are the biggest hustlers. We
Yeah,
should
and it's all recycled content.
at that
They're
point we
not
shouldn't
they're
be
not like
going
doing anything
after.
new.
We should not be going after drug dealers and all those people making that money. We need to go after YouTubers. For-
Dude, like
They are
YouTubers,
stealing.
man, I'm telling you, they like one of the people, she has got to be like one of the smartest people on the platform, dude. Like I don't know if anyone knows what ASMR is, but
Yeah.
if okay, like GB is literally one of the smartest people because the thing about ASMR is like people that watch it, they'll rewatch videos all the time.
Yeah.
So like for ASMR YouTubers, if you have like 2 million subs or something like that, the thing is though is that like for gaming content or like people that do vlogs and stuff like that, most people are watching that one video and then they're done,
Yeah.
right? But people will rewatch an ASMR video over and over. So like GB, she like first of all, she has videos done literally weeks in advance. Like if I asked her right now and was like, hey, when like in terms of your uploads that you have planned for like when does your planning stop, I guarantee you she has videos done through February, and
Probably.
she
I feel like
uploads about 3 times a week.
I feel like it'd be pretty simple because you could probably get it all done in one day.
Oh yeah, and she has a full-time editor and everything, and she posts about 3 times a week. And the amount like and again the reason why ASMR YouTubers will make so much money is because videos that they made 2 years ago are still getting views every single day because people rewatch it.
Which
So
is
like
so weird to me.
it's dude, it's I'm telling you, it's the amount of money is just it's unreal. If you run your shit like a business and you treat it like correctly and you make up a plan and you follow it, especially if you're big, like dude, you can go crazy.
Oh yeah, quick
It's
money.
it's it's hard to grow, and creating that floor is difficult, but like once you're able to get a footing for yourself to where the platform will naturally just kind of start to recommend you places because you have a bigger channel,
Hmm.
like it goes, bro. It continues to grow.
That's awesome. See. I find the whole YouTube stuff is so fascinating because for some reason, whenever YouTube started, someone thought, let's start paying people to that are doing well on our platform, and it's gotten to the point where it is now where they're making money and making a living.
Yeah,
And it
making a lot.
if you would have asked me however long ago YouTube started, when I first started watching YouTube down in my old house, down in the little like orange room we called it, sitting at the computer with my good friend Tom Nisus, watching that guy Fred who talked at the most high pitched voice. If you were to
Oh my god.
if you were to look me in the eyes and say, Eli, if that guy made a video in 2020 just like that, he would make more than your entire family combined. And I would
Yeah.
look at you and say, "You're an
Yeah.
idiot. You're an absolute idiot. That's stupid." But now
It's
looking
it's
back,
true
I'm
though.
like, "Hold that, yeah, that makes sense."
Like if you play your cards right, man, I mean, especially and like when I was mentioning sponsorship deals, like easily you know, uh, most ad deals that like if you'll click on a YouTube video and they got like a 30-second, 60-second ad read, that ad bare minimum is gonna be probably double the amount of revenue that video is gonna get. So like, I mean, for example, do you know what Harris Heller is?
No.
Have you ever heard of like the Alpha Gaming channel?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Harris.
Okay.
That's usually the guy that makes it. So his channel has like almost 500,000 subscribers. But the thing about Harris's channel is that the people that watch it, which by the way, if anyone is like thinking of making content, his channel is literally like perfect for learning shit in terms of like learning how to set up your audio, learning how to set up OBS and stuff like that. He has so many helpful videos. It's perfect. But he has a very very high engagement rate. So like his audience is very impressionable, and companies will notice that and be like, okay, even though this guy might have 2 million subs, but this guy has just under 500K, but his impressionable like rate is much much higher. Like the chances of somebody buying something because he says so is much much higher here than it is here. Like Harris actually has a video of how much money he makes on his
Really?
channel, which if you really want to, you can go watch that. And it's very interesting. But he will make typically, I think he said in a month from sponsors. And this, I forget how old this video is, but I think he said he makes about 50, 60 grand per month in sponsors.
Holy.
And that's like a bare minimum.
And it's crazy that he only has 500,000 subscribers and he's making that much.
Yeah, because his channel is like it has such a high engagement rate, and people will, they're there for his advice. So they're much more likely to, if he says, hey, you should probably buy this, they're much, much more likely to buy
Right.
it because they're already there to learn from him already.
Yeah,
So
they're there. They want to know what he's got to say about it.
exactly. And so like, yeah, he makes a ton off of sponsorships. Like, when people do like sponsor streams for like Apex, you've seen Apex do like they'll pretty much sponsor like everybody on Twitch to stream it for their new season, stuff like that. I mean, your top guys like Tim and Shroud and those guys that'll have a sponsor stream for it, guaranteed they're getting paid like six figures for that.
Well, when Shroud was blowing up a couple months ago when he made his comeback and he had 100,000 viewers like consistently, and his YouTube videos were going crazy.
Mm.
That man, I can guarantee you that probably was one of the most he's been paid like in a very long time just because he came back and had so many people that were so excited to see that he was back and all watched him.
Well, I mean, you know how much money he made from Mixer, right?
He didn't he make like around the same as Ninja?
No, Ninja made a little bit more, but Shroud secured like 10 million from
Oh
Mixer.
damn.
Like, I mean, I love Shroud too because Shroud is. I mean, could Shroud make more money? Yeah,
Oh,
he absolutely
absolutely,
could.
dude.
It's just that he doesn't do a ton of sponsor streams. He doesn't like. I mean, he does have YouTube content, but they're very minimal. Like
Yeah,
they're straight from his streams. He doesn't do trendy stuff.
never edits.
Like
His videos are
y-
never edited on YouTube.
yeah, they're barely edited by a guy. Like it's so bare minimum.
The
But
fact
obviously
that
they get
his
a lot of views because it's Shroud,
right, and the
right?
fact that what blows my mind, and I think I find it hilarious, is that Shroud, the fact that his intro is so animated as it is,
Yeah.
it's just like that's weird to me. Because every video I've ever
He
watched and every stream, it's like he has a small overlay. You can
yeah.
barely tell that there's an overlay, and that's it. And he plays
I
good.
because I mean Shroud, dude. Like I mean he's just I like his mindset because I mean I remember like I watched a video of his not too long ago when people were talking about taxes
Hmm.
and he was like, yeah, did I pay like half my income in taxes? Yeah. Do I care? No, because I still have fucking millions of dollars. Like, I
Right.
mean, like he's like, I'm making so much money sitting here playing video games. I don't care.
Yeah. At
Like,
that
I
point,
mean, like
he's not
he's like,
spending
whatever.
money. He's literally he's playing the video game. So if he's losing half that money, it's not like he's going out and buying fucking supercars.
Exactly. And I remember Ninja had another clip about talking about taxes too, and Ninja paid like $25 million in taxes, and he was like, yeah, does it? You know, Ninja was kind of complaining about it. If you and people were giving him shit about it, but like if you watch the full clip for context, because you know people are very convenient in leaving out context to
Right.
try and make people look bad. He was really just complaining about the fact that he's paying $25 million, and yet there's people in his tax bracket that are paying none,
Right.
right? And so it's not consistent. That's what he was complaining about. But like, I mean, I don't know, bro. There's people. I don't think people realize how much money people are making, dude, and
Yeah.
how like, and I know, you know, there's obviously there's gonna be people like we were talking about earlier. Where they're gonna be like, oh my god, there's obviously so much to get. Let me, try streaming or something like
Hmm.
that and see. But it's you have to realize is that there's the only I think the only scenario that somebody like you'll see a person just blow up in like a year is on TikTok
Yep.
because that's brand new. But like these people on Twitch, these YouTubers, streamers, I mean, they've been at it for 8 to 10
Years.
years,
Yeah.
and it just so happened like I also don't think people realize that like the gaming industry
It's
is
blown up.
is it's literally in terms of revenue, it is bigger than the music industry and sports industry combined.
And that's the thing. We're getting into a point
Okay.
of like time where gaming is so mainstream. Like before,
Oh yeah,
you people would make fun of you for playing Minecraft.
yeah,
I will play Minecraft until my fingers fall off. I used to sit in my living room and just sit and play Minecraft until like 4 a.m.
yeah.
Because I enjoyed it, and like I would definitely people would roast me for it, but there's people that are playing Minecraft now that are making more than like both my parents combined,
Oh,
and it's
absolutely.
insane. Gaming has literally jumped on the Tesla X or with SpaceX
Yeah.
and flown straight to Mars with the amount that it's blown up
It,
with money.
yeah. It's like I mean, and plus it also has to deal with like TV is just dying.
Yeah, nobody watches
Like
TV.
for the most part, I mean, you're watching Hulu, you're watching Netflix, you're watching streamers, you're watching YouTube. Like, I mean, look at the NFL. Even the NFL has been doing sponsored streams and having their games on Twitch for 2 years now
Hmm.
because they realize they're like, wow, there's a lot of viewers to grab here. There's a lot of potential there, right? And
Right.
so like, you know, people they're consuming more content and they're consuming more recorded content so they could watch it on their own time. And it's an industry that's blowing up and people are just, kind of reaping the benefits of, well, they've been in the industry for, years, and they're just kind of lucky enough to be in a position where they were able to just kind of grow with the platform itself.
That's why I love the way our direction. Like, I hate the way our generation is going in terms of um ethics. I guess I could say, because I feel like our generation is not necessarily our generation, the generation under us. But
Idiots.
it's not looking too good for them. But
No.
I do love the way that right now with our generation and the technology and the way that we're utilizing that technology to better many people's lives, because there's people that can't go out and work full-time jobs. That's just not what they're meant to do.
Mhm.
Like, I'm sure this is how you feel 100%. You don't feel like a normal 9 to 5 job is for you.
Mhm.
So by you playing video games, that's your way showing, okay, this is what I'm here to do. This is what I feel like I was put here to do.
Mhm.
So and I love that that's kind of become a norm where people are able to use this as their way to show, okay, I'm never going to be on TV, but I want to be able to entertain people and get the same feeling I would get if I was on TV, showing to only 10 people or only 5 people.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, obviously I'm in college and, I'm still working towards a degree kind of minimally, but, still doing it. And like, I'm still getting a degree in marketing that like, if I wanted to, I can go work for like, I'll still be in the industry, whether, will I be a streamer full time? Maybe not, but like, I could still go work for an esports brand
Right.
in their marketing, system and stuff like that. Right. Um, but like, in my eyes, like the way I viewed it is that people, especially when it comes to, like taking out loans and stuff for college, like, I mean, when you take out loans and you have that money, you know, that money is there anyway. Like you don't get a cookie for like not spending the loan money
Hmm.
that you get, right? So like, I mean, one of the things that I did even just this past week is I budgeted the loan money that I'm getting for this next semester, and out of the money that I had left over that I qualified for through scholarships and my loans and whatever, I took some of the money and I just ordered a brand new PC from Power GPU. So I'll have a two PC setup so I can have a streaming PC and a gaming PC, and it'll just make my content that much better.
Right.
And it's like, I mean, I already budgeted, all my money that I had for loans in terms of bills and what I need for food and everything. So it's like I already had the leftover money. I'm not going to get a cookie for not spending that money from
Right.
loans. Like, yeah, I'm going to fucking spend it. And so, like, I mean, and there's just, in terms of streaming, like, I would much rather put in a lot of time and put in a lot of effort into something that I want to do right now.
Hmm.
And if it doesn't work out, then at least I can say I made a pretty damn good effort and I can adjust later.
Right.
Instead of being like, okay, well, I really want to do this, but it's kind of risky, so I'm not going to. And then years from now I'll be like, okay, well fuck.
I
I should
should
have
have
probably
done it.
tried that. Yeah.
Right.
You know? Like, I don't know. It's if you're not really doing something that you don't really enjoy, then it's just gonna bite you in the ass at some point, you know?
Yep. Yep.
And it just doing something for the money, while that money might be great, like in my mind, if you don't have any time to do anything with the money, then the money means nothing,
Yeah.
you know? And so like if you're not enjoying yourself, it doesn't matter. So I mean just you want just if you want to do something, at least give it a shot. You know.
I agree. I'm glad that you actually kind of ended that perfectly with what I was gonna say. So, we're having some great conversation, but we are coming up on 2 hours here.
Yeah, we've been going for a while.
We're on an hour and 59 minutes right now.
Yeah.
So you ended what you just said perfectly. So to everyone listening, this is the first video, and listen to what Woody just said. This man just literally spoke the truest of facts possible. If you're into something, do it because you're not at the end of the day, you're not losing anything. You're doing what you like. So on that note, I want to thank you, Ryan, so much for coming on here.
It was a blast, dude.
It was great to have you as my first person. I mean, you were literally there was never a point where I felt like we had nothing to talk about. You answered everything amazing. You
Yeah,
gave
I could go
amazing
on for like
tips.
another couple hours too.
I know
Yeah.
that's the issue. That's the issue is I know we could keep going. But it was great to have you on. I hope I get bigger and then we can have you can come on again or come
Oh
on
no, I'd love
anytime
to.
you want to come.
Yeah.
It's awesome having you here. Uh, so everybody that's made it to the end of the video, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna drop all of Ryan's socials down in the description below. Make sure to check him out. Drop him a follow on all this stuff. Great content to watch all the time. And on that, I'll see you guys later. You guys have a great day. All right, goodbye, guys.
See you guys.